Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I know it's been a little bit since I've made a video, just with the beginning of the year and everything with work, it gets a little bit busier. Things in Vegas are picking up, which is, kind of a good thing. It means I have, more money to essentially spend, but it does mean I have less time to make videos and less time to kind of worry about the fish tank. But today we are going to do a 6-month update on this Red Sea reefer. Let's get to it. So overall, the tank itself has been pretty good the last few months. It's really starting to even out and start growing like it should be. But we are going to start from the bottom of the tank in the 2 sumps, work our way up to the main tank, and then finish off with the lights. So in the bottom sump of the tank, so far, as you can see, it's pretty basic, just the skimmer as usual. I am starting to try to grow a little Chaeto, even though it's really not working all that well. Sometimes I've noticed certain tanks I have problems growing Chaeto. It's just, hit or miss kind of. But I don't think it's going to be growing anytime soon, so I'm not too worried about it. But we'll go ahead and just leave that for now, and we'll see how it does in a little bit in the future. As you can see, I am missing 2 of the filter cups right here. I basically just left the 2 in here right now just to catch a little bit of the bigger particles, but I do want the tank to be a little bit dirtier just because I do believe that since the tank itself is fairly new, it does require a little bit more nutrients just to get that biodiversity to equalize, get all that bacteria to equalize, just to bring, balance to the tank itself. So I want the tank to be a little dirtier. You don't want the tank to be too sterile or too clean, just because it kind of ruins that biodiversity in the tank that creates that balance that you want. And lastly, I still have everything else in this tank, such as the reef dose for dosing any kind of nutrients, the standard 3155 ATO, and of course, if you've recently seen, Red Sea did just release a ATO that comes with a leak detector, and it kind of fits in this little useless circle that they kind of included with the older models, which now that makes sense. So that's perfect. If anybody from Red Sea's watching this, if they want to shoot me one to test drive, just kind of let me know there. But that is pretty much it for the main sump right here. I have my little regular fry racks and the little filter drain that I printed out. I actually have been printing quite a few of these out to sell. So if you are interested, best to hit me up on Instagram. I review those more often. Some people emailed me and it took like a month for me to reply because I just don't look at it. But yeah, if that interests you, just let me know. Now on the secondary frag tank, we do of course have the reef dose, which is, now that I notice, getting a little bit dusty. We'll have to wipe that off. But we have the reef LED, and then as far as the tank itself goes, I don't really have anything in here right now. I mean, I do have like a little bit of frags here and there, a couple OG bounces, but nothing as of yet. We may be doing the frag show here in Las Vegas in November, which has just been announced. So we may start, cutting a few things here from the main tank itself, just to start growing out down here and getting ready for that frag show. These anemones I showed you in a prior episode, I actually have 3 now, which is super awesome. So in the month and a half that I've had the anemone, it's split in 3. So basically, $150, $200 times 3. That's pretty good in just like a month and a half. So we may start selling those soon as well. Can't really see it. And then of course in the last episode I showed you my little statues that we're going to be growing out. You can see from the top right here, this one has actually encrusted pretty good, and it's starting to move downwards on the body. And then this one I recently just put together, and that's a Bizarro Cyphastria. So once that one grows out, that one will be super awesome as well. Now the 2 clownfish that I have in here, they're just kind of chilling, so we'll just kind of leave them be. They've been doing pretty good in this tank. To be honest, they haven't really been doing anything, but hey, they're super cool. I've had them a long time, and I kind of don't want to get rid of them. And also in here, unless I take everything out, they're pretty much impossible to catch. So yeah, they're staying in here, and they're actually pretty close to hand tame as well. Like, I can kind of pet it, which is you know, it's kind of fun. And then lastly, as far as dosing goes, I am still on 2-part right here, but as you can see in the next few episodes, that may be changing kind of soon. We'll see kind of how that goes in the next few episodes, but yeah, so far still just staying on the 2-part, though I am dosing more and more, which means refilling it more and more, and these guys kind of aren't cheap. So we're gonna see if we have a better solution as far as dosing this tank as it grows bigger and more stickish. All right, and before we do get to the main piece de resistance, we have the lighting, which is still my standard 2 Orphix with the reef LED in the middle. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. It's fine, but maybe I could use a bit more light. So, I mean, no matter what, this guy's gonna go. But don't know what they want to do with the Orphix yet, whether that's adding another icon in the middle, maybe a compact, or maybe I'll turn these guys forward so I can, you know, just put a crap ton of lights up. Like I said, I'm not really sure yet, but we're not at that point yet, so I'm not too worried. It lights the tank perfectly fine. It looks really good, so we'll just leave it at that for now. Now, the tank itself has been doing absolutely fantastic. These new Red Sea tanks are really nicely built. This nice little glass top right here, I mean not glass top, this glass Euro brace, I've been able to keep pretty clean. It's not clean today because I've gotten a little lazy, but it's stayed nice and clean. I actually really dig this sticker that comes with it. It kind of gives like a Japanesey game feel to the top. So I've kept all the ones here on the top just because I think it looks cool. The Red Sea screen tops have been really nice. I did cut them to my own specifications and then put the BRS black screen on top to make it just like a nice black on black look, which is just great. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely recommend that everybody do it. It's so much better than the clear, though I must say, obviously, you can see it does get a little bit dirty, but it is absolutely worth it. If I wasn't so lazy, I would just take it outside, spray it off really good, and just put it back on. But yeah, Red Sea top in black with black screen against this black Euro brace, one of the best things to do on this tank by far. I know a lot of people do like clear lids, for example, but they use like white screen with like a clearish white frosted top, that kind of thing. They look cool, but they just don't match, and that kind of annoys me. So doing this, you know, even though it's a little bit not nearly as nice, looks better. Now, of course, the seals on the tank are one of the things that everybody kind of worries about. This guy has done absolutely great, especially with the armored corners that they have on every single corner. Scraping into the edges really isn't a problem anymore, which is just absolutely perfect. Same thing with the bottom here. It's just not kind of an issue anymore. I kind of hit it repeatedly, and it really just doesn't suffer any damage whatsoever now. And one of my more favorite items is this kind of steel metal lip that is under the tank. You can't see it, but you can definitely feel it. It's literally like a metal lip. That to me just kind of gives me like an extra sense of security, because, you know, being at the bottom of the tank all the time, doing things in the frag tank, you're bound to kind of come up and just hit the bottom of the tank with either your head or something else. But having that little metal piece right there is just kind of like another comfort I feel like you get when you get one of these S-1000s. And then as far as the pumps go, I am still running the Red Sea Reef Wave 45s here on the sides of the tank. So I have one here on this corner blowing outwards, and then I do have two of them on this side, one blowing kind of straight forward through these two corals, and then one blowing on this side to give, a good amount of circulation all over the tank. And last but not least, we have the tank itself, which in the last month or so has been doing absolutely fantastic. I think we're at that point where I have enough bacteria in this tank. I have kind of the nutrients balanced out, so the dinos are gone, the copepods are living. I'm getting a nice film algae every few days, which is absolutely normal for a reef tank. The copepods can actually feed off of that. Fish are doing great, though I haven't really gotten any in the last few weeks. It's still pretty barren, but we may change that soon. We may also be adding a few more pieces to the aquascape here just to give more run-throughs and more dimension to the tank itself, because it is a little bit, as you can see, vertical, which, it isn't a bad thing, but it'd be nice to have a bit more dimension to it. Now, as far as the coral goes, just on the top level, all the sticks are really starting to grow in now. You can see, for example, this orange creamsicle right here, which has just kind of a nice little blanket of skeleton on the rock now. We have a few more corals here that are really starting to grow out great, especially this guy right on top. Right in the middle. This little blue coral right here, I've cut multiple times, and each time I cut it, if you look at it, every cut turns into 5 or 6 new spikes, which is super awesome. It makes a lot of kind of dimension right there, which is super cool. The green slimer went from one stalk to a bunch of little stalks now, which is really good. The Garf bonsai here is spreading super nice, and we are essentially just waiting for it to start growing upwards instead of outwards. I did just acquire a little baby Walt Disney, which hopefully grows out at some point. I know it's just a little frag, so it'll take some time, but that's okay. I did also recently get this guy right here, which is a tabling acro, but it's really hard to see, but it is red with green tips, and the tips kind of glow, which is a super interesting piece. Definitely one of my new favorites in this tank. We do have this little acro right here. I bought this piece knowing that it's probably just going to be brown or maybe like a teal-ish color. You can kind of see it a little bit, but the reason that I bought this guy is just because of this little dude right there. It's a little hard to see, but that is actually an acro crab, which are a little hard to come by, and I'm bored and I could use a new pet, so I just got this piece pretty much just for him. Now, moving on to the bottom of this little tower right here, we have just a couple corals. We have the Japanese weeping willow, which has about doubled in size, but it hasn't really shown its long polyps yet. The polyps themselves are getting longer, which is great, but not as long as what we've seen in videos. But it'll get there at some point. You just kind of have to be patient and feed diligently. I did just acquire this nice little Goniopora right here, which is kind of basic, but it has nice yellow centers, which yellow isn't a color that's very common in this hobby, so it does look good, so we just go in ahead and got it. Just a very basic little gold torch right here, and just kind of like a little Goniopora garden, just kind of chilling here. The two Scolies I have are doing absolutely fantastic, but Scolies generally are pretty easy to maintain anyways, so that'll be fine. And then this entire left corner right here has kind of turned into a mushroom slash zoa garden area, just kind of for grow out, which looks really good. It's kind of nice and full. At some point I'll probably end up moving these tiles over to the rock itself, but for right now they're just kind of on grow out, just kind of encrusting this little tile area, which is perfectly fine. And There's this guy right here. This is just fantastic. I don't remember what this is called. If you know, just kind of let me know in the comments. But by far one of my favorite Zoas right there. It's like a Darth Maul, I think, maybe. It's, to me, I just like it because it's like an utter chaos, but it's more like an organized utter chaos. It's not just like random dots. But yeah, by far one of my more favorite pieces. I just love looking at that guy all day. As far as mushrooms go, we have my standard red jawbreaker type of mushroom that I've had for a while. These are getting nice and fat. We have a jawbreaker right here, which has been doing super good. It's been popping out a whole bunch of babies. We have my yellow and blue, kind of like an interstellar mushroom, which has been doing super good. And then I did just acquire this big guy. I guess it's some type of Rhodactis. But yeah, they're super huge and they have nice kind of purple and blue tipped ends, which is really nice, especially when you get to the later end of the night when the blues start coming out. It really starts to glow. Now on the other end of my tank, we have my little tree tower right here from Caribsea. All the hammers here are doing absolutely fantastic. We have hammers, we have frog spawns. They're all different colors just to kind of have one of each, because it's nice to kind of have a variety of all of them. Now, this gold hammer that goes all the way to the back is getting kind of big, and that and the frog spawn are kind of starting to touch each other. So I may end up taking this entire piece out. Luckily it's on its own rock, so I'm probably going to end up taking this part out, so this frog spawn, this bicolor frog spawn, will have more room to grow, because they will start growing into each other, and that won't be a good thing. Now on the top we have my kind of SPS area. As you can see, these guys are growing out super well. We have a Sunset Millie in the back here, a Miyagi Tort, which is just doing absolutely fantastic, a PC Rainbow in the back, and then a Red Ferrari right here. We do have kind of just a more assorted variety of frags here on this little ledge. But yeah, this will probably grow out soon. I might move one or two of them away just because it is a little cramped up here, especially once they do grow out. I'll probably end up moving that bird's nest, but these guys are doing super well. And then lastly, we have this rock right here. It was supposed to be kind of like a torch rock, but we may end up moving the torches somewhere else and just putting sticks on this rock. We have this, I think it was called like an 18K or something torch. I don't know. It looks really cool. This guy went from 2 heads to now 4. As you can see, it is super gigantic, which is awesome. We do have the Holy Grail in the back here, which went from 2 heads to now 3. So one of the heads is splitting off now. And then this little Hellfire torch that I have here has done absolutely nothing. It stayed alive, so that's fantastic. But other than that, like I said, really nothing much at all. I did just get like this beautiful Pectinia right here. I don't know if it has a name, but it is blue on the outside, green in the middle, and then yellow mouths, which is going to be a super addition to my Space Invader Pectinia, which is, of course, you know, kind of my baby. This is the one that I do all the cuttings out of to give to the fish store. As you can see, it has like 30 or 40 eyes, which is just, you know, fantastic. But we're going to be keeping this guy for a very long time. We do have kind of the leather right there. I'm not sure what to do with it right now, so it's just kind of chilling in its own space in the back. And then another new acquisition is going to be the Koji Wada Pink Nethia. It's just a little baby frag, but hopefully, you know, that grows out at some point as well. Now, given that I generally prefer a wider tank that's not so blue, the colors on that are absolutely fantastic because it actually looks a lot better in white light than it does in blue light. And then lastly, we do have our gold torch here. I mean, not a gold torch, a gold octospawn. So it's actual really gold tips with a purplish body right here. That went from 1 head to now 2, as you can see. So that is perfect as well. But as you can see, everything is growing in super nicely. We are just kind of waiting for everything to grow out. I'll do some reorganization as far as, where everything goes, because to be honest, I feel like the bottom is very messy looking. Even though there's not much on it, it's still messy looking to me. So we may organize it a little. I do have a few new toys in the mail that are going to be coming in soon. Those will make really fun episodes, just because I've been kind of slacking on doing things to this tank, waiting for it to kind of balance out nutrient-wise. But yeah, that is pretty much it for today. I really thank you guys for subscribing. Being able to be monetized is super cool, even though YouTube doesn't really pay you jack squat. But yeah, it's been super fun. If you have any questions about the tank itself, please let me know in the comments below. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.